you can actually think back to around 2003, 2004, as well as 2012 of the connections that could be connecting to this lunar eclipse in Taurus on Saturday, the 28th of October 2023 at 5 degrees of Taurus. This is a very, very intense eclipse. It has sort of a mixed bag energy. We've got a lot of positive and a lot of negative. So there's a lot of balancing needed at this time. And we can see that also with Venus currently situated in Virgo, where she is not normally very happy. And she really wants to fix things and optimize things and organize things and balance things out for us. Not only in the Scorpio-Taurus axis, but also in our health and just everything in life. So a lot of little things are coming up at this time for us to see how they affect the bigger picture in some way. So Taurus is the house in your chart that's being highlighted at this time, where something is coming to a fruition or a completion for you in some way. It can be connected to, like I said, 2003, 2004, 2012. It can also be connected to 2021 up till now. So some kind of important lesson that you have learned from the time of these eclipses now since 2021, where the eclipses were in Taurus and Scorpio, as this is the last one in Taurus of this set, as we are now into the Aries Libra eclipses. But interestingly, like I mentioned before, that both of these sets are ruled by Venus and Mars, masculine, feminine, and all of that. So relationships are a really, really big focus at this time. We have a lot of divorce energy. And when I say divorce energy, I also mean not just in as far as love or couples are concerned, but also divorce energy in the sense of divorcing things, patterns, ways, people's jobs, anything that is not aligning with our values and our principles. So we are really becoming aware of who we are and what we stand for. And that's very important with Mars as the ruler of the North Node currently in Aries. Very much saying for us that we need to stand up for what we believe in, and we need to have our voices heard, especially with Mercury conjunct Mars right now in Scorpio as well, which is a very passionate place for the Sun, Mercury, and Mars to be conjunct in Scorpio, opposing Jupiter retrograde and the Moon exalted in Taurus, with Uranus also sitting there off to the side, making things quite interesting. So, also what I wanted to discuss is that we could be dealing with things right now that have spiritual connections. We are in a spiritual war at this time, and we are very much aware how little things that we could overlook connect in a spiritual way. There's also very big things happening at this time, big changes, big events, sport matches, opponents, conflict. And with this Mars opposite Jupiter energy, we can also see a lot more childbirths happening, because it can be quite the trigger for childbirth. Another big, very meaningful event that has deeper connections and deeper meaning. I also wanted to go over Taurus and Scorpio in the sense of Taurus really rules comfort, quality, money, what we do for a living, our sense of how that connects to our self-worth, our confidence, what we own, ownership. Scorpio, again, is more connected to spiritual values, Taurus more material values. Scorpio is more connected to the meaning of life after death, trust, intimacy, emotional intimacy, the deeper meaning of life, really sharing yourself with someone else, your shared resources, whether it's money. Scorpio is again money that you share with others or money that you owe, where Taurus is money that you earn and money that's yours, or possessions that is yours, property that is yours. It also deals with banks. So we've got financial, the financial axis here, as well as we've got trust, security, possessiveness, ownership, all of those things happening at this time. So we can again also expect headlines in regards to banks, currencies, changes like that, and not just necessarily now, but within the next 6 months to however long the effect of this eclipse may be, which is usually at least 6 months prior and 6 months post. And then we can also deal with, of course, masculine, feminine issues, and also issues in regards to the uterus, as Mars is currently in Scorpio, that deals specifically with the uterus as well. I'd also like to go over, oh yes, and I'd also mention our food, where our food comes from. The experimentation with food is very much coming up as a highlight as well at this time, with the moon in Taurus and Uranus being there as well as an experimenter, and also the subject of self-sustaining, self-employment. All of these things are coming up for us at this time. What we no longer would want to do for a living, what we're no longer willing to compromise, what is not aligning with our values and principles, and who is not aligning with our values and principles, and what lesson have you learned, especially since 2021 and since 2003, 2004. And think about it in regards to your values and also relationships, what you are no longer willing to put up with, and where are you up leveling. Now, some positive, negative things I wanted to go over with this eclipse. Some more of the negative energies can be actions based on emotions, especially from connected to the past. Self-righteous anger, might makes right, spoils of war, military parades, philosophical extremism, conflict, overbearing, domineering energy. We're more accident prone at this time. We can be more foolish because we can take risks without thinking, jump before knowing where we're going to land. So be more careful about that. But it is also a time where risks can pay off and where we could be very lucky in some ways. There can be effective activism at this time, which is more positive, bold enthusiasm, optimism, bravery, good sportsmanship, conflict that brings about great change, a worthy opponent, the champion. This is great for muscle building and for muscular performance. And I've mentioned passion and luck, yes. So it's important to not overestimate ourselves at this time, to overinvest, exert yourself, overindulge. Be more careful of your sugar and alcohol intake at this time. It's very important to stay conscious of our actions right now and to use that Venus in Virgo as well to be discerning and to use our strategy appropriately with Mars in Scorpio. And we'll be more aware of our spiritual values as well as a standard of justice at this time. I would also highly recommend to use or to try and research the Ceylon cinnamon. It was great for sugar balancing in the blood, as well as selenium as a supplement, mineral supplement for the thyroid, as well as Taurus deals with the thyroid as well, and with blood sugar levels and so forth. And then of course Scorpio reflects off of Taurus. So we also have the colon that we need to take care of. And so detoxing anything right now that is not good for you is great. Really look at what your intake is of all things, and what you need to divorce out of your diet and change. So yes, cinnamon, selenium, and may you have a blessed lunar eclipse in Taurus.